What's going on, Fair Co-op family? What's going on, Rideshare family? This is your guy, Jeff Trills, and I'm coming to you today with another uh, update or another post or video, rather, right? Uh, Interesting stuff here. So, as you probably don't know, you probably do know, Lyft is now tapping into what we call favorite driver, right? It's cool thing about this is that, here at Fair Co-op, you guys know we have the favorite driver feature, and so I guess Lyft has got their ears peeled to the streets and seeing what's going on, right? So, and I think Uber's also going to be doing this as well. Cool thing about this is that we're on the map. People are noticing us, right? And noticing that, hey, that favorite driver feature may be kind of good for this platform. So, what I like about this is that they are now going to be helping Lyft drivers and Lyft customers do the favorite drive feature. And what that's going to do for us is going to train them on the favorite drive feature, how it works, so that when they come and say, you know what, I need to go with Fair Co-op, they already have it as a habit for drivers and riders, right? But this is the thing that is so cool, because what the big boys don't realize is that this is not going to help them the way they think it's going to help them, right? And here's why. We're going to read this right. It says, your ride, your way. Now you can favorite your drivers, right? All right. It says this is build connection. So the whole message behind what they're doing is so out of touch on what this favorite driver feature really means to the rider and the driver, right? So they say, we believe every ride should feel personal, safe, and connected. That's why we are thrilled to introduce a new feature letting you favorite your driver, which adds more personalization to your Lyft experience while celebrating the drivers who go above and beyond to make your journey special. Now, they're coming at it from a customer's perspective, but not really coming at it to where the driver is benefiting from this, right? Let me give you an example. So now, you may like my service, the way I act, the way I go, but you paid $50 for that ride and I got $12 for that ride, right? So you like my services, you paid the money, and you want to favorite driver me on this Lyft app that's paying me $12 for this ride. Now, as the customer, I got Jeff, the favorite driver, but when they go to schedule a ride and they realize that I'm not accepting the ride because they may pay high money, but I'm not making the type of money on this platform that wants me to go and pick up that rider. So what's going to happen? People are not going to be building connections because they're going to be like, well, you want me to pick you up at this location for this amount of money? No. This is why the favorite driver feature works on platforms like ours, because the driver makes more and the rider pays a little less, to where it now gives the opportunity for a driver to make way more than what they're making on these platforms. And two, it allows the person that potentially save more, but tip more, because now they're not paying those exorbitant prices that they're paying on Uber and Lyft, right? And so this is why it works here. And the reason why Lyft people can't do that, because they have what? The Lyft companies and the Uber's companies of the world, they can't do that, what we're doing, or they choose not to do that because they got investors. They got people who they got to make sure that they're turning a profit for. So yes, it's cute. I like what they're going with this, but they're missing the biggest point, y'all. And it's the driver mind first. It's the driver benefit first, right? So listen to this. Build the connections one ride at a time. The magic of Lyft has always been about human connections. Really? Has it been? I can't tell. Now, I got to say, when it compared to Uber and Lyft, I got to say, in the beginning, because I've been driving Uber and Lyft for about 11 years, I got to say, they really had the connections with the drivers and the unity with the drivers, because they would have these little cookouts for us, and they would have these 1K driver jackets that were pretty cool. So shout out to you, Lyft. You did have us excited about that, and we had our own little club. So every time we saw a driver, in the 1K, we knew that they did at least 1,000 rides minimum, because that's what that meant. When you got that 1K jacket, that means you crossed 1,000 rides, and that was pretty cool. But then something happens, sometime down the line, they just switch up everything, and then now looking like Uber, and how Uber is so tasteless and careless about caring about the drivers, right? So, but here we go, right? Now this is a testimony from somebody, right? So it said, take Cameron Taylor Jones, a Pittsburgh grandmother who drives on Lyft. and her passenger Diamond. What started as a simple pickup that turned into a friendship that lasts through 100 rides together. Diamond would schedule her ride for 9:30 a.m. and Cameron would be there, ready with a conversation, laughter, and sometimes even homemade spaghetti. I got to the point where I care about her like she's a relative, Cameron says. So stories like these remind us why we do what we do, to create meaningful connections and serve our riders and drivers. Now, the crazy thing about that story, how were they able to do 100 rides together, right? Because if those of the drivers that know that we pick up, we was doing this actual thing before they made it a thing, you could pull up to the location, and if you keep pulling up to the location, they don't guarantee that you're going to get that person's ride. Even if they're in the car, that ride would get pinged to someone else. So I don't know how they made this happen when she did 100 rides back to back with this client. But hey, what do we know, right? So there we go. So they charge her how the favorite driver works, which is cool. All that's cool, right? But they're missing the bigger point. They're not focusing on the driver. This is a customer front, like a customer forward type of advertisement, okay? And this is what is going to happen. I see it not working like they think it's going to work, right? Because they missed the valuable point of the client is paying what they're paying, but the driver isn't making what they should make. And so if the driver's not making what they should make, they're not going to go out their way on the platform to take peanuts. They will go out their way off the platform for a fraction of what the person made, which is way more than what Lyft is paying. And when you have stuff like that, that's going to continue to happen. So you're trying to make this internal, what was already happening with the driver, the customer. You're trying to put it internal inside the app, but you lack what caused them to do that outside the app in the first place. And so we welcome you to do that, because there's drivers right now that don't have the knack to take them off platform for one or more reasons. One of the reasons why they keep them on the app and try to take them if they can, because the insurance. Now here in Georgia, let me kind of share this with you. The insurance in Georgia, and for commercial insurance, is a pretty penny. So that's why we like people using Fair Co-op, because we already have the insurance for you, the TNC, and you're not going to have to pay anywhere between $400 to $900 a month just in commercial insurance. Okay, you don't have to worry about the business registration either. It's all included. So people can't even afford their regular insurance, let alone literally commercial insurance. Okay, so what's the alternative? Fair Co-op, keeping 85% of the ride, as well as having these people on the app. There's a functioning app that works. We don't have to worry about people join us down for the price. Meaning, when I say that, if you take private rides, guys, like I know, after a certain amount of rides, they're saying, hey, I've been taking a ride with you now. Can I get a better deal on the price? Sometimes it happens just like that. And it comes from certain communities, okay? They want to push this safety thing here, right? Get committed to getting you there safely every time. See, what the favorite driver does is mostly not about just safety by itself, right? It's all about reliability, meaning the driver that we have on favorite driver, they love the fact that, yes, they know the driver, they trust the driver, and they feel like they can take care of them and their children going back and forth and communicating. But what they really love about this on safety is the fact that you show up, and they can count on you to show up and get them to and from where they're going, right? So this is cool. But like I said, they're missing the biggest point about this whole thing. Safety is cool. The favorite driver feature is cool, but they're not the drivers. Hey, you haven't spoken to the drivers. We are not going to be picking up these rides if the price is not right. Like this show I used to watch back in the day, The Price is Right. If the price ain't right, there's nothing happening with no favorite driver. Because truth of the matter is, the favorite driver feature is cool, but you don't have they don't have no way to connect with them and say, hey, are you going to be available tomorrow? Cool. So I'm gonna go book the ride right now so I can get you. The favorite driver feature doesn't have that feature where it's going to say connect with the driver. And just like Jeff said, there's other people that say, okay, well, if you got the favorite driver, and if Lyft and Uber's playing with your tips, well, they're gonna find that out real quickly. Why? They're gonna say, oh, hey, like Jeff said, oh, thank you for that $7 tip. And the rider gonna be like, $7 tip? Oh no, I paid you $25 in tip, or I gave you a $20 tip. Nope. Can you see my screenshot? And now we got issues saying, hey man, now we got facts that my favorite driver is not getting the proper tips that you guys claim that they're gonna get. So this may now help tips go right to you instead of being delayed or not going to you at all. But that's one aspect, right? The real aspect of this thing working with Lyft is if they pay the drivers right. If they're not paying the drivers right for this, it's not going to work. I don't see it working in my opinion. So here's the new news. We have Lyft favorite driver now being activated. And I know Uber's going to also implement that as well. The great thing about this is that they're going to train them on how the favorite driver works so that when they get converted over to us here at Fair Co-op, it won't be a foreign thing for them. It'll actually be great for them. And here at Fair, you will have less cancellations because we're getting paid better than we would do over there at Uber and Lyft. So this is all I have for today. Here's my 2 cents about the new Lyft favorite driver feature that's coming in certain cities. We'll see, but this is great for training purposes and get them in a habit so that when they come over to Fair, it's already in there. They already know what to do. Like I say, be great because you are great. We'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go. Let's grow.